has America changed for the better or for the worse? I think that it has changed a lot for the worse in the last probably 20 years.
I guess it depends on the timeline.
I think it has improved from since we've migrated here. I don't think it's declined at all. I think America has gotten better through the years that we've been here.
In the last 10 years, I think there's been some ups and downs, but it's going to get maybe a little bit tougher before it gets better.
But as far as America, I mean, America's always getting better. It's a land of opportunity. The future is very bright.
I think that we've kind of lost that everything's really easy in this country to survive kind of and get by. And that I think it's kind of made everybody soft. But hopefully, you go through so many soft times, you'll have to go through harder times at some point. And hopefully we don't get in the middle of that.
I am so appreciative of America itself. I'm appreciative of being here from where we were.
I think a lot of I think there's too much government control, government involvement, and therefore promotes and allows people to sit on the couch and collect money and not really take care of themselves.
For facilitating like the opportunities for myself and eventually for my two kids. So it has inclined. There's no decrease in society today.
The word entropy always comes to mind. Things tend towards more chaos. They don't get more organized in nature, they get more chaotic, and I don't see the world going in any other direction.
It kind of seems like the whole world's coming apart at this moment.
I think that if we, as a nation, to tell you the truth, could just, take a step back and go, why do these people or another religion, what is it that makes them believe this? And then, put ourselves in their shoes. Because if we were to do that, I think that we'd have a lot less issues. Because when it comes down to it, we're the same people, It's just like we're still flesh and blood.
My name is Darcy Egan, and my husband is Wade.
My name's Wade Egan.
We have 3 amazing little munchkins. 7-year-old Paisley is our oldest, followed by Shaylee, who's 5, and then Renly, who just turned 3 in August.
I live in Santa Barbara County. We live in the San Ynez Valley in California.
Not behind him.
My parents connected on their mutual love of horses and have had horses ever since. So basically, I was born into a family it was inevitable that I was going to have horses in my life. And after showing for many years, I did get a little bit burnout on the show circuit. I wasn't what I would consider a girly girl, big on hairspray, and especially having come from a background of being a competitive equestrian, I really didn't hold rodeo queens in high regard. And I didn't know that much about them, to be totally honest. Something that appealed to me was the element of getting on a horse. Didn't matter what their background was. and still being able to go out and win. And that was where I really fell in love with the sport of rodeo. Over the course of the next few years, I went from being Miss California Rodeo Salinas to being Miss Rodeo California, and then in 2004, I should say, I was Miss Rodeo America. So I had kind of a fast and furious rodeo queen career. It was a little short-lived, but I definitely hit the milestones that anyone could dream of, and so I felt really fortunate to have those experiences. I traveled over 340 days that year when I was Miss Rodeo America, all over the United States and the world, representing the sport of professional rodeo.
My horses and get my horses out. Scott. You're riding Scott.
And we head home to hopefully have time to pull the horses out before the sun goes down, get a few rides in.
It's a double tier Belgian waffle maker? Where's the plug?
So I'm the middle child of 3 children. We got to do a lot of things together. We were all kind of the same age.
Growing up as an only child is a double-edged sword. I think the grass is always greener, right? I'm sure I've seen a couple times where my kiddos probably thought to themselves, gosh, I wish I was an only child.
No, give me all his phone. No, dance. It's my turn. It's my turn having phone. But I want it. No.
When you have the opportunity to grow up sharing from the get-go, I think that it gives you a really great sense of what's important in your life, right? Is it a toy or an object that you're coveting and you don't want anyone else to have? Or is it more the relationships?
Come in, Lilah. Shut the door.
Here's something I found on the web. Yes, raspberries are safe for dogs to eat.
Alexa, off. I'm gonna run all the way around.
All the way around.
Hi, my name is Tuan Dow. I'm 51 years old. My wife's name is Dawn.
Hi, my name is Dawn Dow, and I live in the Los Angeles area. I have a husband and 2 children. The eldest is a boy, he's 14 years old, and my daughter just turned 11. Her name is Brooklyn, and she is a firecracker. So I was fortunate and very lucky to be born in Hawaii, the island of Maui. I am 3/4 Japanese and 1/4 Hungarian. I work for a company called Damascus Road Productions, and I am one of the producers here. We have 2 office locations. We're in Burbank and also in the Westlake Village area, and I just kind of help coordinate and make sure that everything is running smoothly between all of our associates and our projects that are happening.
That's okay. Should I just move everything over, because technically you're here 1 to 4, so even if you left STX and came here, you could still come here. So I'll just move everything over to Burbank and then see.
My family and I migrated from Vietnam. What prompted the move was the It was after the Vietnam War. It was the fall of Vietnam. And my parents weren't sure what Vietnam was going to be like after that. I was 7 years old at the time, and in the midst of the night, we escaped Vietnam on a boat. So I remember hiding underneath like some planks that were on the boat while we were escaping Vietnam. I was with my mom and dad, and my siblings at the time were my older sister and my younger sister, and my mom was also pregnant at the time. So we escaped Vietnam in 1979 and landed in the US in 1980. So what we continued since the move is the New Year's tradition. So Lunar New Year's is the biggest holiday for the Vietnamese culture. It's the time of the year where all the families gather together. We do prayers for our ancestors. We play games. It's a time of just celebrating and bringing the family together. Good food. Talking about family back home and our ancestors that's passed.
So if a shape comes up and there's 2 or 3, you get 2 or 3 times that amount that you bet.
My childhood was very different, and I think as a parent, you're always looking to try to give your kid something more, or something that you didn't have, or something that you didn't have the chance to do.
They have it so much easy. They do. I don't think they understand that, but I think the way that they're growing up now is a lot easier than when I grew up.
They don't fight too terribly. I mean, they've gone through their phases.
Since there was 7 of us, my mom didn't drive. My dad worked 7 days a week. We were a 1-income family. All of us were shoved into one car. Now it's dual income. My wife and I, we have 2 vehicles, and there's just the 2 of them.
And no, that's one kind. There's 2. They have the moment.
I ate 1.
So as I talk to my children right now, and we might be battling. You pick your battles, and I tell my children all the time. I'm like, all right, this is where we're at. You might not agree with me right now. You might think that I'm being mean or unfair, but it's my job as a parent to make sure that you understand this, so that you grow up to have a good life, and then you're prepared to teach your own children. But now I have all these incredible memories of, the things that they say, the silly things that they've done, and oh my goodness, do you remember that haircut or something like that?
Wait, who drew the Mona Lisa?
It's all those things that make having my family so amazing, and why I've put it at the top.
I'm Cameron Robertson. I'm originally born and raised in Dos Palos, California. Currently reside in Fresno, California. I have a daughter that's 9. I have 2 stepkids that are 6 and 8, 2 boys, and then I got a baby on the way. That's due just about any time. Nothing's better than having a big family.
Yeah, that's where it's all there.
Yeah, and but I need to find my black snow.
Kids get along great. Briar, the oldest, she's really into science, really into engineering, loves Legos and building things. The boys, Stephen and Duke, they like sports and motorcycles, airplanes, all the typical boy stuff. Bigger family now than what I had growing up. I grew up with an older brother, my mom and dad. Grew up in a small town. Obviously now we're in a big town, but we're still a farm family. Still work on the ranches. My dad's a commercial beekeeper, so he would have honeybees, scattered around the state, and so weekends were consumed with going out and working with him, caring for the bees and doing various yard tasks. So now, later in life, I became a commercial beekeeper, took over the family business, and that's what we do now is, a lot of ranching. So on top of that, I've been fortunate enough to team up with a large production studio, Paramount Network, and been partnered with them on a television show that they have filming in one of our locations that we farm in southwestern Montana. That's kind of pivoted me from an agriculture exclusive industry to now agriculture and film.
Growing up as a young kid, we had all the freedoms that we wanted. We got to run around and play outside, and didn't have to be back until the street lights came on, and we got to run around and do a lot of stuff, kind of like the kids are doing here.
We have a lot of open spaces, which is really advantageous. Lots of room for the kiddos.
Be quiet and you don't get close to it. Oh, it's coming towards us. Oh no.
I grew up on a farm of about 20 acres, but in a large agriculture area where neighbors are typically about a mile apart. And we grew up riding bicycles and on ditch banks, and hanging out with your friends and running the country roads unattended, and just had a very unique lifestyle and childhood where we were allowed to, really a lot of freedom and a long leash to go experience our youth.
It's a great place to have, young kids just really get to explore and be safe and have just, the openness and, everything. So it was kind of being like wild children. And so we would just kind of leave in the morning and we would just, explore down creeks and all different types of, outdoors things and build forts in the forest, literally, and it was a neat experience just being part of nature and just being a full-on kid. I think that being born an American, it's hard for me to understand what it's like to not have what we have here and the freedoms that we have here.
To me, to being an American, I think, is the opportunity.
That someone that can take care of themselves, has initiative, has try.
Our country's founded in things like equality, justice, liberty, and faith.
It's just that we're so used to knowing our rights and knowing our freedoms and knowing that if at any point something is wrong, that it's okay that we can actually voice it and say it and act on it.
I think that's the best part about this country is that if you put in the effort, that anything is possible.
What being American really means is just you work hard, you will get it. It really is the land of opportunity.
Probably the biggest concerns in this country right now is having an educated populace with facts and not feelings.
And we have a lot of really great and generous programs that have been developed over the years, but unfortunately we've created some people who rely on those programs and don't know how to support themselves any other way. So we've kind of created some bad habits.
People that are, taking in different opinions or different pieces of information from the internet, they should not weigh everything they read with the same weight. They should not give everything the same credit.
To see that if everyone can get along, I feel like there's still a division between races, religion. I think if there was a way to get all races and all religion to be kind.
There's a lot of things that I wish that I didn't know so much about. And so when government mandates do come down regarding things like required healthcare steps that get implemented, such as vaccinations, it makes it very difficult for me to just go with the flow, knowing what I know.
Every family has a different set of beliefs and morals and ethics that they operate in. My family, as a leader of that, I want to make sure that our beliefs and morals and principles are strongly passed through the generations.
Especially now with having the kids at a young age where they can grow up, and once they're out there in society, I think that's where my concern is.
Your kids are your legacy, and your legacy, being an American, should be the amazing country that we have had, the amazing country we do have, and again, the super bright future that we have today.
My family and my family life is definitely the highest priority for me.
I mean, the most important thing is family.
To me, family's of the utmost importance.
I want my girls to know that they are my #1 priority. Wade and my girls are my entire life.
There really, nothing comes before it.
I think that when I've been growing up and all this time, that was my time. That was my time to be, to learn and to take things in.
When I think about what's most important in my life, again, I look back to my parents and what they taught me, but most importantly, what they showed me by example.
Everything I've done up until this point was to prepare me for having children and having a family. And now it's my job to make sure that they are taken care of, and also that they are prepared to also become an adult and then have a family of their own.
And family is a wide definition. There's your blood family, your immediate family, and then there's kind of your chosen family.
At least I felt like I always had that support system. And to this day, I still look to my cousins and interact with them as if they are brothers and sisters.
And I think about it over the years, nearly 40 years of life, your family's kind of who you don't really get to pick them in the beginning, and that's just kind of who you spend your time with, and that's where you build your bonds and your memories, and they're kind of the ones that shape you.
That's what I thought. I was like, wait a minute. I am a middle child from a family of 3. I was adopted from Hawaii from birth.
I should.
Everybody is asleep. Everyone's like, what? My dad is the youngest of 4 siblings. He has 2 older sisters and an older brother.
One of those sisters has 3 kids, and one of those is my cousin Dawn, who I've known, she's older than me, so I guess I've known her my whole life.
Oh, see, that's how you should do your hair. Can you please take this
Bring
picture?
that back.
And yeah. So one comes from one of my uncles, who is the youngest, and that is Darcy's dad. And then Cameron is from my uncle that's just a little bit older.
We love to spend time with each other as much as possible. so weird. It's awkward to like talk to you about you guys.
So we're standing right here.
Yeah. We're all 3 cousins, and they're all first cousins.
Yeah. We probably did that on purpose in the background.
Here, let's recreate this photo right now. Put your
Hey,
arm
where's
over
your
there.
yellow
Yeah.
shirt?
Pie.
I
Get
do.
your
I could go get a
yellow.
yellow
Get
shirt.
a yellow shirt.
Yep.
I'm easy. I'm just like this.
Yeah.
See, I'm just like this. No, I'm not even tilted. I'm like this. Just, hey, and you. This is how we should recreate this photo.
Mhm.
Yeah.